Hello students, in the previous session we discussed the political context of a speech and its impact in understanding the interpretation and significance of any given speech. And today we are going to explore one very important historical speech. So before starting, let's have a quick recap about the political context. Understanding the political context, including the events, ideologies and the social conditions, are actually crucial for interpreting speech's meaning, tone and also the significance. And what is the impact on the interpretation? Understanding the political context actually enhances our interpretation of the speech by revealing the speaker's motivations, his intentions, the socio-political climate and also the message's broader impact. So let's talk about this famous speech by Adolf Hitler, and the name of the speech is Proclamation to the German Nation. So let's talk about the speech first. Adolf Hitler delivered this historical speech on February 1, 1933, shortly after becoming the Chancellor of Germany. And this speech actually occurred just few days before the Reichstag fire, which the Nazi party used to consolidate power and suppress the opposition. Hitler addressed the German people, outlining his own vision and plans for governance. So when we are going to discuss this speech, we are going to exploit the political context of this speech and how the political factors and context influenced Hitler's arguments, language and the message that he wants to deliver through his speech. So we are going to talk about Hitler's rhetorical strategies and also the political factors that shaped his arguments and even the language. First of all, we'll talk about his rhetorical strategies. First of all, very important, his emotional appeal, which is also known as pathos. Hitler actually exploited the emotional state of the German people, the feelings of fear, frustration and national pride. He also uses authority, that is ethos. He established the credibility by portraying himself as a selfless leader, as a savior of the German Republic, positioning himself as the nation's sole solution. Appeal to fear. Hitler says, "The poison of Marxism has eaten away at the foundations of our nation." Here, he talks about threats like communism, unemployment and social decay, creating a sense of urgency and positions himself as the solution to all these problems. Appeal to pride. Germany will rise again to its rightful place among the nations. Here, he promises to restore Germany's former glory and dignity and instills hope and appeals to nationalist sentiments. Use of authority, ethos. As Chancellor of the German Reich, I pledge to restore order and prosperity. Together, under my leadership, we will restore Germany's unity and strength. Here, he presents himself as a decisive leader with a clear plan and vision. By invoking his title, he strengthens his credibility and legitimacy. Now let's talk about the second persuasive technique that Hitler employs in his influential speech, and that is repetition. When he says, the German people must now band together as one to overcome this unparalleled crisis. Only through unity can we achieve revival and prosperity. Unity is the foundation upon which we will rebuild our nation. Our future depends on unity. So he repeats certain phrases and words, and there is a perfect objective behind this because he wants to emphasize the key idea and the theme of his message. And this strategy is employed throughout his speech, and we can also find out another example. Future is repeated in this sentence. Our future depends on unity. Our future demands strength. Our future lies in the hands of the German people. Now let's talk about another persuasive technique, that is rhetorical questions. Shall we allow our nation to collapse under the weight of its enemies? Shall we allow Germany to continue on this path of ruin? Are we, the German people, not capable of achieving greatness once more? So, the objective of rhetorical question is not to elicit any response. Rather, it enables the audience to ponder over the situation and also align with Hitler's policies and ideologies. Let's talk about another emphatic persuasive technique, that is, he appeals to historical greatness and sacrifice of the German people. We want to lead our youth back to this glorious Reich of our past. We want most of all to educate this youth to revere those who once made the most difficult sacrifice for the life of our folk and the future of our folk. He also promises of a better future and call to action. German folk, give us 4 years' time and then pass judgment upon us. German folk, give us 4 years and I swear to you, just as I have taken this office, so shall I leave it. German people, stand with me in this fight to secure our future. So he's actually outlining his plan, his vision, and giving a time frame also. 4 years' time, I will change the situation of the German people. Then let's talk about the political factors that shape Hitler's arguments and also his language. His speech reflects Germany's political landscape, and what was it all about? It was dissatisfaction with the Weimar government, fear of communism, nationalism, and desire for a strong leadership. And he exploited these sentiments to manipulate the public opinion in his own favor, paving the way for the Nazi regime. And how does he do that? He talks about anti-Marxism and class reconciliation. There can be only one victor, either Marxism or the German folk, and Germany will triumph. In bringing about this reconciliation of the classes, directly and indirectly, we want to proceed in leading this united German folk back to the eternal sources of its strength. The poison of Marxism has eaten away at the foundations of our nation. So he denigrates this ideology of Marxism, and see the choice of words. It is a poison that is eating away the glory of Germany. Next, critique of democracy and parliamentarism. Thus, we want to break with all the manifestations of a rotten democracy. Democracy that is rotten, that is not good for the ideology of the German Republic. And place instead the everlasting realization that everything which is great can originate only in the power of the individual. And which individual is he harping upon? He is talking about himself, that only one person can lead Germany back to its original glory, and that is Adolf Hitler. Moving ahead, he talks about exploitation of Weimar Republic failures. The breakdown of our economy is a result of a leadership that lacked political vision and courage. In a way, he is striking a contrast between the existing government and a future government that lies in Hitler's hands. Economic crisis and unemployment, that is usually a problem of many nations, and again Hitler is also cashing in on this problem just to align people with his own ideology and policies. We will restore the dignity of labor and create jobs for our people. He also glorifies the role of the German peasant and the worker. When I fight for the future of Germany, I must fight for German soil and I must fight for the German peasant. He renews us and his existence must be secured. And then I proceed to the second pillar of our national tradition, the German worker. The German worker who shall no longer and must no longer be an alien in the German Reich. So he is combining all different strata of society. He is talking about the peasant and also the working class. Now there is something to ponder about the speech. We have analyzed Hitler's speech and we are aware of the fact that it's a great historical influential speech. And why? Because of the persuasive techniques, the tone and the language that was being used by Hitler. But we have something to ponder upon. First, Hitler's speech was more than just a call for unity. It was a calculated response to the political context of a nation on the brink. Secondly, Hitler positioned himself as a sole solution to Germany's problems, turning fear and frustration into political power. And finally, understanding the political context behind Hitler's rhetoric helps us grasp the power of persuasive speech in shaping history. Students, when we are reading this speech and even analyzing this speech, there is an objective behind this. Why are we still reading this speech? Yes, we are reading this speech because we are surrounded by political discourse, and when we are listening to any such speech, we have to be very cautious whether the speaker is manipulating our emotions or he is giving his speech on a rational basis. Hence, we have to be very cautious while analyzing, interpreting the meaning of any given speech. And now I've got a very interesting task for you. You have to again read this speech, Hitler's speech, analyze the speech and attempt these questions. I'm sure you would love enjoying these questions and attempt them in a nice manner. Thank you. Happy learning.